Hey guys, it's your girl Ashley Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, where we teach you how to start at the top of the speaking market instead of working your way up from the bottom. During this show, you will hear solo episodes from me, where I'll show you how I have landed and negotiated 5- and 6-figure speaking contracts and licensing deals. You'll also hear from our amazing guests who have grown enormous speaking businesses by utilizing sales and marketing principles that work. If you want to grow your speaking business, listen to this podcast, and then afterwards, head on over to ashleynicolekirkwood.shop and grab my book, Speak Your Way to Cash, How to Start at the Top of the Speaking Market instead of working your way up from the bottom. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Hey, y'all. What's up to the Speak Your Way to Cash family? It's Ashley Kirkwood back again with another podcast episode. But this time, guys, I am actually going to let you listen in to a live video that I recorded. Now, if you're listening to this live video on the podcast and you're like, I want to join your next live, I want to ask you questions, I want to be able to get feedback about my business, then you have to follow me on Instagram at the Ashley Nicole Show, and make sure you're following the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook page. All right. Make sure you're following the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook page because that's where I go live. I also sometimes go live in the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group, but enough about that. Even though you may have missed it live, you're about to hear it again. So listen into this live episode and let me know what you think. You can always send me an email to ashley@speakyourwaytocash.com. Let's listen in. Hello. I'm really excited to be here with you guys today. Really excited to be here. Invite in your friends. This discussion is not going to be for the faint of heart. Okay, we're going to have some real dialogue tonight. And so before I even get into who I am, what I do, I want to talk a little bit about who should listen in. If you are an entrepreneur, a thought leader, a speaker, an expert, anyone who wants to sell to larger clients, specifically those corporate clients, medium-sized companies, large companies, you want to sell to people who should have absolutely no problems paying your invoice, or you want to diversify who you're selling to. So maybe you're someone who already crushes it on the consumer side. You have amazing clients, individual consumers as clients. Hello. But you're like, I want to sell to bigger organizations. I want to diversify who my money is coming from. And I want to make sure that I have a few clients that can be cornerstone clients, that can be legacy clients that I know will be here over the next 100 years and who are not going to mind doing repeat business with my organization. If that is you, if you're in the right place based on those descriptions, or you're a speaker, you're someone who already speaks, but you're getting like under $5,000 per engagement or under $10,000 per engagement. You have not yet landed a $10,000 plus keynote speech, etc. And you want to raise the level of your service. You want to make sure that you're serving clients who really appreciate what you do. These are not clients who are going to pay your worth because no one can do that, but they will pay your rate happily, consistently, and like all the time, right? So if that's who you are, then you want to lean in, listen in, come in close, because we're going to talk about overcoming fear to make more money in your business, and just to live a more fulfilling life, okay? So if you want to talk about that, those are topics, you're interested in those topics, just drop a yes in the comments. And hopefully, we'll be brief or as long as we need to be, okay? And if you all have any questions, let me know. What I typically do is go live on all platforms, and then I will answer questions on Clubhouse, because that is an app that allows you to actually come on the stage. And you can find our Clubhouse room by searching for the Speak Your Way to Cash Lounge. Now, for my podcast family who's listening into this talk, really excited to have you. Thankful for your support. If you have any questions throughout this or questions about anything that you hear, you can feel free to simply send me an email to ashley@speakyourwaytocash.com. All right. So we've talked about who should be here. Let me tell you who I am and why you should listen to me in the first place. My name is Ashley Nicole Kirkwood. I am an entrepreneur. I own 2 companies, Mobile General Counsel and Speak Your Way to Cash. In my capacity as both a lawyer and a professional speaker, I have landed 6 multi-six and larger deals for myself and my clients. And I teach people how to do the same through my company, Speak Your Way to Cash. So that's a little bit about my background, my position as an attorney, my education as an attorney. My bar license helps me to teach speakers about unique tools they can use that billion-dollar brands have been using forever, called licensing. I help you level up your language so that when you're negotiating these big contracts on behalf of yourself, you can do it and give them the terminology they need to write you the big check. So that's a little bit about what I do. So if I'm not negotiating your deal for you, which is something that we do at Mobile General Counsel, then I want to make sure you have the language to do it the right way for yourself. Because I find that folks miss out on money because they use the wrong terms. And I always give examples of the wrong terms or lower level language that's not going to help you to get paid in my live video. So stick around if you want to hear more about that. Tonight, I'll try to talk with some more examples as well, just so that it's really clear what we're doing. Yes. Someone said, yes, for me, I'm trying to find those consistent, permanent clients. Amen to that, right? Who doesn't want that? So we talked a little bit about me, talked a little bit about what I do. And then the topic for tonight is really, how do you overcome fear to land larger clients? And the number one enemy to you doing so, the number one enemy to you landing large clients, the number one enemy to you landing large clients. Now, yesterday, I did a live video and we exposed a really tricky thought pattern that lives within us called Mr. Doubt. But today we're going to talk a little bit about intimidation. And to start off the discussion, as we typically do, we're going to read a line or two. I think we have like 3 lines that we're going to read from my book, Speak Your Way to Cash, How to Start at the Top of the Speaking Market instead of working your way up from the bottom. We're going to read a little bit of this because it'll help to frame the discussion. And if you're someone who's like, oh, that's good, I definitely want to learn more about what she's talking about, then hopefully you will meet me at Speak Your Way to Cash Live, which is the event that I've been producing for several years. We're on our 6th event, and it's coming up in November. Okay? All right. So make sure you get your tickets there. SpeakYourWayToCash.com/event. That's where I'll be teaching you how to land those 5- and 6-figure contracts. Let's get to it. All right. Number 1. This is what it says on page 36. If you have not pre-ordered this book yet, please do. The links are link in my bio on Instagram to do it. The other link is just go to SpeakYourWayToCash.com. You'll find all the details you need to pre-order it, but it's really good. I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek, and then we're going to get into this discussion. You may struggle pitching to large corporations and talking to CEOs or senior leaders because of intimidation. We are told that money equates to success. We affirm this belief largely in part due to years and years of indoctrination from mainstream media, namely movies, TV shows, books, and other systems of power. However, here's the thing. That belief is just a belief. You do not have to be intimidated by people, their wealth, or their title. Snap to that at home, okay? Stop subscribing to the belief that just because someone has more than you, that person is more than you. Close the book. That's a bar, as the young folks say. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about this. Because I believe that particular sentence helps to frame the discussion that we're about to get into. The number one threat. Everyone talks about business threats. Let's talk about the internal threat. When you watch any good movie about strategy or war or one side versus the other, there are external threats and there are internal threats. Tonight, we're talking about the internal threat that is keeping you from pitching to large organizations. And this is just based on me coaching hundreds of people who want to sell to corporations, who want to do bigger business. And you know, I posted this recently. Just because you're a small business does not mean you have to do small business. The size of your business doesn't prohibit you from doing larger deals. There is a way to be a small business and still land large clients. And that's what we're talking about tonight. So the number one internal threat to you selling to larger corporations, if you're stuck, if you haven't done it, if you're wondering why you've listened to the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast and haven't started pitching, or you're in Speak Your Way to Cash Academy and you haven't started pitching, or you have attended my events in the past and you're like, but there's something keeping me from going after these clients. I say I want them with my mouth, but my actions say that I don't. It's intimidation. And let's break this down. We have been taught that because someone has more than you, they are more than you. We've been taught that. And I would tell you this, because a lot of people, you know, the name of my company is Speak Your Way to Cash. It draws people, right? It draws people. However, the truth of the matter is, just because someone has a lot of cash, has a lot of capital, has access to a lot of capital, that does not mean they are better or worse than you. Money is a tool, not a measuring stick. If you find yourself getting in certain spaces and then you're automatically uneasy, or if the thought of talking to the CEO of a major corporation makes you uneasy, or the thought of being in a room with people who have more quote unquote education than you or experience than you makes you uneasy, let's identify that as intimidation. Now, what intimidation is doing, if you're a visual person, is it is literally standing guard at the door to your next level. So imagine if you could just move this guard out the way, you could enter a door, and behind that door are more opportunities, larger contracts, better clients, people that wouldn't mind giving you $500,000 for a contract, people that are open to discussion about your $50,000 proposal, etc. If you could just imagine with me for a moment, there's a door. Behind that door are all the opportunities. If you're not careful, intimidation, this very sneaky, salacious guy is standing at that door. The thing is, it's an internal threat, not an external threat. We blame what we like to do. Anyone mind if I hold them accountable to this? Because what we like to do, myself included, is we like to make our issues external because it feels better. If we take away all the power from ourselves and we just say, you know what? I wasn't able to do that pitch because they're not hiring right now. It's a pandemic. That's an external threat. You have zero power in that. You do not control COVID. Okay. If you do, call me. I got beef, right? But we don't control that. So if we make that our issue, it's our way out. But once we realize a lot of the problems, a lot of the things keeping us from selling to major corporations and pitching consistently is an internal threat, i.e. named intimidation, then we can get somewhere because you take your power back. One thing I'm big on, I'm big on a few things, but this is one thing I'm really, really, really big on. I am huge on you owning your power. It is essential. If you're going to be at my events, you're going to read my book, you're going to hear me talk about sitting in your power seat all the time. That literally just means whenever you want to make an excuse for yourself, you instead take ownership over your part in it. You give yourself permission to be powerful and you move the threat out the way. I don't care what it takes. You can always move threats out the way because even if you don't control external circumstances, you always control your response to it, which means no matter where you're at in life, you always have power. Here's why people like to reject this. They like to reject it because when you are powerless, things happen to you. You have no control over it. And as much as we don't like to believe this, I personally have known people who are addicted to the victim role. I want you to understand your power, not just for selfish reasons, but because when you go into these large organizations and you start making suggestions that will transform their company's culture, that will transform the way the employees experience the organization, you become the voice of the, let's say, voiceless, even though they're not, right? You become the voice of the employees. You become the person who leads that organization to a better path. And that takes you having power. So you listening to this, watching this, hearing this, you are a powerful person. That's the first step to selling to corporate. It's not a strategy, right? I have tons of strategies. I'm going to teach so many of them at Speak Your Way to Cash Live. I have a book. I wrote a book. It's 273 pages because I know what I'm talking about. Come on, this stuff is real. I got strategies for days. And what's amazing is I didn't even put everything in the book. That was just me giving you all it takes. You know what I'm saying? So I got strategies for days. But what I realize is when I look at my clients who are the most successful, they typically also have the most confidence. Confidence is literally currency. My signature speech on sales mindset is called the currency of confidence. You can't skip this part of the journey. And it's the first part because even if I gave you a strategy, right now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give y'all a strategy. We're going to test this out. We got about 30 people joining us live from all platforms and even thousands more that are listening to this on the podcast. I'm going to tell you what to do. If you want to go into companies and you have a program that will help the entire organization, you can tonight send a LinkedIn message to an HR director and say, "Hi, Dave. I would love to come into your organization and help your employees X, insert transformation. Let's talk about how you are currently helping your employees X, insert topic of what you speak about. Do you have time for a chat next Tuesday? It'll probably only take 15 minutes. You can send that. You can get on the phone with him. You can see what they're doing and you could potentially upsell them. That's a strategy. Strategies are everywhere. Free. Take that for free, right? But now that I've given you that task, if I was I want all of you to go do that tonight. Let's say I wanted all of you to go do that tonight. What would stop you? Because everyone listening won't do it tonight. Why? Well, because some of you are thinking, I mean, I could do that, but then like, what am I going to sell him? And I mean, what if he says yes? And I mean, if he says yes and I get on the phone with him, what do I say on the sales call? And then if he gets on the sales call and he says yes there, then what do I put in the proposal? Do I have a contract ready? Like, you can easily spiral. And it'll be like, oh, I can't do it because of all of these external factors. But the real thing is intimidation. Let's just call it what it is. As a Yamba would say, let's call a thing a thing. You know what I mean? It's normally more so about intimidation than it is about strategies. Now, here's why most people are not successful when they go through coaching programs, in my opinion. Let's talk about this because I know a lot of coaches. I know a lot of great coaches. Let's talk about this. The reason I believe most people are not successful when they go through coaching programs is because they would rather blame external forces on their success rather than dealing with the internal threats of intimidation. So it's easier to say, oh, but the program wasn't good. The coach was a scam artist. Oh, no. They did not give me a good pitch. I mean, the pitch was good, but it wasn't that good. Versus saying, you know what? I was intimidated. It was really hard for me to send that email. And can we be honest? I've been intimidated. I literally went from a law school that was barely ranked to Northwestern Law School. My first day at that school, for sure, was intimidating. I was looking around like, oh my gosh, like I got in here. Am I okay here? Will I still be as good in this environment, which is bigger and grander than my old environment? Because here's what happens. In my first law school, I was a big fish in a small pond. Everyone knew me. They were like, Ashley gets all A's here. She's great here. Now, when you go to Northwestern, a lot of people have good grades. A lot of them had great pedigree. A lot of them speak up in class. So now when your peers elevate, are you still great? And a lot of us had the thought, which I had. Let's just be real. I remember walking through the halls being like, okay, this is different. Will I still be great here? Now, let me tell you a secret, and this may be something you're dealing with. If you already have a successful business, if you're already successful in corporate, whenever you have an inkling or an opportunity to do something that may seem bigger or grander or stronger or taller, you have the question in your mind, I know I was successful over here, but will I still be great if I go over there? And for people who dealt with rejection in the past, that's very difficult to put yourself in a new environment. So I get it. But what I would question you on and what I would challenge you to think about is if you have determined that you are great and you have determined that you are powerful internally, then it really doesn't matter what environment you're in, you're going to thrive. You just are, because it is greatness that's in you. It doesn't matter who's around you. So don't let intimidation keep you from your next level. Now, let's get specific. I have a few things specifically that you need to understand about selling to corporation. Number one, you need to be selling to C-level executives and department heads. You need to be selling to people in power, which is why dealing with intimidation is critical. You cannot, you can, but I don't think it's effective. What I have seen in coaching a lot of people is they're like, okay, I wanted to go pitch this company. I knew someone that worked there. I pitched her. She told me she didn't think they were hiring anyone. And so I never followed up. And I'm always like, huh? Well, what's her position? Oh, she's a marketing associate in the marketing department. And she said they're not hiring anyone and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, does she have a budget? Does she control the budget? Is she the person in charge? Who besides her makes that decision? Is there anyone else other than her who could make that decision? And if that particular department isn't hiring, did you speak to another department that may be hiring at the time? When does the hiring freeze end? When did it start? What caused it? Is it an external threat or an internal threat? I have questions. What I find is sometimes because we're already a little bit cautious about going into large corporations and asking for things, we will sometimes take no from someone without authority because we're too intimidated to go to the person who has the authority. Let me say it again. We will sometimes take no from someone without authority because we're too intimidated to go to the person who has the authority to do what we're asking them to do. But if you see yourself properly, I'm a CEO of a company, they're a CEO of a company. I'm in senior level leadership at my company, they're in senior level leadership at their company. Their company may be larger, but we're companies all the same. You see what I'm saying? So you have to deal with this intimidation because your target to land the contracts that I am teaching people to land, licensing deals, royalty deals, 5, 6-figure contracts. And really, we're not talking about 10,000. We're talking 50, 60, 70, 80, $90,000, which I don't want to put in your mind that that's large by any stretch of the imagination, but it does require authority to sign it. Companies aren't allowing everyone the authority to sign a $50,000, $60,000 contract on its behalf. They're just not. So you have to be comfortable going to C-level executives. And why do I recommend you pitch at the top of the organization? I recommend you pitch at the top of the organization because when you go in at a lower level, and someone who's not a C-level executive at the company can for sure be your lead into the organization. They can for sure make introductions. They can for sure give you names. They can do all types of fabulous things that will help the trajectory of your business. However, you should not allow a no from someone who doesn't have the authority to give you the no stop you. And this goes against everything we've been taught, right? Because we've been taught, follow the rules. If any of you came from corporate or were employees, just drop me. If you're listening on Clubhouse, send me a back channel link like, yep, I came from corporate. I was an employee. Because I was an employee. And my manager got so mad at me the very first time that I went and talked to the director instead of talking directly to him. And it wasn't even about anything bad. I actually wanted to bring in a diversity program that would help inner city youth learn about what we were doing at our tech company. I thought it was a great idea. I talked to the director because he immigrated and got his position. So I knew he would have a lot to say about it. I knew he would support it. My manager, white guy, really didn't want to support it, didn't think it was a good idea. But because I went to the director first, it got done. But my manager was very mad. Inevitably, he couldn't be my manager anymore. They gave me another manager. But he was mad about it. Now he told me he would have said no, but he didn't even have the authority to say no. You see what I'm saying? However, I got in trouble for that. I was told that wasn't good. You got to go through the chain of command, blase, blase, blase. Here's the thing. We are not employees anymore. Some of you may still be employees and play your cards right. But to the business owners that are watching this and to the people who may have a full-time job, but you're building your speaking company or your consulting firm as a separate entity from your day job, you need to go to someone with authority. And it goes against everything. Hey, I'm hearing that. It goes against everything that we've been taught as employees. So I know it's scary, but it's necessary. Quick question. Will you let me coach you for 3 days? Look, I know that it will be life-changing. I have seen it with my own eyes. So I want you to join me at Speak Your Way to Cash Live 2021, November 4th through the 6th. It's a hybrid event and it's our 6th one, okay? I'm not trying these strategies out on you all. I'll be teaching you what you need to land 5- and 6-figure corporate speaking contracts, grow your speaking business, sell to large and medium-sized corporations as well as colleges, and get the press that you need to start getting some of those inbound inquiries that everyone wants. We'll cover pitching. We'll cover press. We'll cover assembling your proposal and proposal writing. We'll make sure that we also cover how to deliver a rock-solid speech, develop your framework, and guess what, guys? If you've attended in the past, this year is 100% new content, same focus, all right? So I want you to join me there. And if you get a VIP ticket, you can meet me live. We will be live and in person in Chicago, Illinois. And so come on in. We have various safety protocols to keep everyone safe, but it's going to be one of the best investments you make in your life. And our reviews tell us that is a 100% truth. All right. So if you want to come, just go to speakyourwaytocash.com/event. Speakyourwaytocash.com/event, because I want to coach you for 3 days and help you to start speaking your way to cash. Talk to you soon, guys. Let's get back to this episode. And you're not doing anything wrong. You're just doing business with the person who can sign the check. That's it. It's just business. It's not, you're not trying to, go around people or be sneaky. You are doing business as the representative of your company. And when you're making decisions as a business owner, what you have to make sure you do, when you're making decisions as a business owner, you have to make sure you're making decisions for the best interest of the entity and not the best interest of your personal feelings. Two separate things. What's best for my company may not be best for me personally. Because for me, I could sleep, I could chill. I don't have to go out and do all these things, do Facebook Lives, market. Personally, relaxing would be nice. A spa day would feel better. But for the purpose of furthering the company's objectives, the stated objectives of the organization, I have to do what makes sense for the organization, which is why I have to deal with my personal intimidation. I have to deal with all of my internal threats, the fears that I personally have, the intimidation that I've dealt with, the hurt that I've dealt with in the past, the bad experiences I've had in corporate America. I have to deal with those things because they become internal threats to the business. All right. If that makes sense, drop makes sense. So 1, you got to sell to C-level executives. 2, you have to understand that even if you sell to the right person and have the right pitch, you will be told no. Let's be real about this. Because I'm honest, I'm not one of those people. I'm not like a sales and performance coach and a person who's going to be like, oh yeah, for sure. Like, you use my template and you will get yeses 100% of the time. No, you will get far more no's than you get yeses. The beauty of it is when you're selling at the highest level, when you're pitching at a high level, when your solutions are priced appropriately, you don't need 500 yeses to make your quota for the year. You can work with less clients at a higher amount and still be very good, very, very good. So you're going to get told no, which is also why you got to deal with intimidation, because when you're told no, it does not mean you're not good enough. They're not saying that you're not, you ain't the one they want to take to the ball and all this other stuff. They're just saying, really, I always take no's as not yet. And I take no's as, I look at no's, I'm a big visual person, I look at no's as a stair, okay? Imagine at the top of the stairs is my 6-figure contract. Every no I get, I step on because it's getting me closer to the contract that I want. You need no's. Now, after someone gives you a no, what a lot of people do is they rush off the phone. I'm going to give you all a tip. If someone tells you no, or they tell you they don't see value in your products, excellent. All the pressure is off. So now what you need to do is investigate the no. You need to find out, hey, I'm just curious. And y'all can use this. If y'all taking notes, write this down. I'm just curious. Was there anything I could have said to change your mind? No, I don't think so. And why not? What didn't you find valuable about what I offered? I just want feedback. I'm not holding it against you. And in fact, what you're about to tell me, if you give me honest feedback, is going to be more helpful to me than if you would have said yes. And I'll be indebted to you for it. I would appreciate it a lot. See, here's the thing about feedback, guys. Feedback, people saying, Ashley, you're amazing. Ashley, you're great. Ashley, you're this, like all the good stuff. That does feel good, right? I'm human. That feels really good. But I've learned the most from people who've been like, bro, there's a typo in that in that Instagram post. I mean, that's a simple example. But to give a better example, I've learned the most from my mentors who looked at my writing and said, you know what, this could have been so much better had you changed this sentence to that. And it's not just them telling me what I need to change, but when I ask them, why do I need to change that? And they give me the reasoning behind it. Well, now they've solidified the knowledge. Because of the way society is set up now, everyone wants to be told they're amazing. Yes, girl, do you. Don't take flack. Leave. Cut them off. Cancel them. Like, that's really popular. But let me bust a little bit of your bubble here. That's not going to make you an effective business leader, and it won't make you win long term. The businesses that have survived and thrived and persevered understand that it's not just the positive feedback that helps them to win. It's also the negative feedback. It's when my client tells me, oh, yeah, she was really good, but when she called, there was a lot of noise in the background. Or, yeah, she's really professional, but did you know that her lighting isn't very good? Like, is there any way you could fix that? It's when people tell you things that you can do to take it to the next level. And yeah, it may hurt your feelings a little bit, but if it's good data and it's not just soaked in haterade, you can actually take it and make money from the nose. Because the next time you pitch, it'll be that much better. So you have to get the data from the no. And the no is simply a stare to the yes. So you need no's. They're important. They're essentially gifts if you let them be gifts. What most people do is they hear no, they deflate, they don't ask any more questions, and then they're out. But if someone can give you good feedback, well, now you've allowed them permission to give you honest feedback. They're going to be an ally. Because the other thing you can do after someone gives you a no, now this tip is going to make people some money who use it. But here's the thing. The other thing you can do, they give you a no, they give you feedback. You're like, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate the time and the courage it took for you to tell me something that I didn't want to hear. Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to get better. I'm committed to getting better. Who should I be talking to that you know? Uh-oh, sounds like a referral. Wait, but they didn't do business with me. How could they give me a referral? Because they talked to you. They've invested time with you. And what people take for granted is the fact that even if someone doesn't invest money with you, if they invest time with you, they're giving you something. Another bar. Okay? Like that's really critical. So if you take that sentence, you get the feedback from the no, you ask them who else you should be talking to. Well, now this no has not only given you feedback to make you better, but they may even give you someone else to talk to that you can sell to and start a real financial relationship with. Critical. Another pro tip about these no's, because they're really, really, really important. If someone gives you a no, they give you feedback, you implement that feedback, you have to let them know. You have to let them know because it solidifies the relationship. Before I left corporate to do my own business, I was making $200K. I negotiated a $100,000 raise to go to another company. A $100,000 raise, not a $100,000 salary. We already had that on lock. The reason I was able to do that people take for granted, the reason I was able to do that is because all my mentors, whenever they gave me guidance or tutelage over the years, not only would I listen to it, I would implement it. And then every single quarter, I would email them what I implemented from them. Every time I won in life, I would thank the people that helped me get there. Even if they only helped me a little bit, I would thank them. And I never had a problem with it because I knew by sharing the win, by sharing a piece of the trophy, it became their trophy. Well, what do people do with trophies? They show them off. So what does that look like? That looks like people who see you winning based on their feedback, they want you to keep winning. So they're going to send you engagements. They're going to send you referrals. They're going to share your posts. The reason why people are struggling right now is because we've been taught to be selfish. And it's stupid, if I could use that word. I try not to use words like stupid or anything, but like, that's kind of dumb. If you can share a little piece of the trophy, allow someone else to put it up on their shelf, well, then now they're invested in continuing to see you win because they know that you share a piece of every win you get with other people. People love helping people like that. Stop being selfish. You got something from something, tell people. I know so many phenomenal coaches that are literally considering giving up the game because their clients rarely, if ever, say thank you. People are like, well, actually, I didn't win. I mean, you may have helped me with that one little tip, but the rest of it, I did myself. I ain't gonna give you no testimony. That's so dumb. That is so dumb. And what it really shows is that you just have no idea what moves human behavior. And it's so sad. It is so sad. People are always self-interested. So if you give a little piece of your win to someone else, they're going to always want you to win. Now imagine doing this for years. Every time I got a good grade. Matter of fact, when I graduated law school, got my job at Kirkland, I emailed almost every law professor I had, told them about my new job, and told them specifically how their class helped me. Every time I call them, they pick up the phone. Every time I call. I need a referral. I need something. I have a whole community of people who love to see me win because they know they're getting a piece of the trophy. And not even me giving them money, me just giving them accolades for what they did in my life. It is so sad when I see people who don't understand this principle. You need to give if you want to receive. That's it. So yeah, you watch people's live videos all the time. Tell them how it helped you. Tell them how you implemented it. I have a client. I'm going to give you guys a real world financial example of this principle. I have a client who's amazing. She's always sharing our stuff. Her heart is in the right place. I've seen her business grow leaps and bounds, even beyond speaking. She's incredible. The first chance I got to swing money her way, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. She ended up telling me, you know what, Ashley, that speaking contract you gave me, they signed it. I told the client, I was like, look, before, and this, let me tell you this. I told the client to hire her before the client hired me. Her contract was signed first. I didn't care if they hired me or not. I knew she wanted that. She needed that. I'm going to send it her way because every time we impart anything into her, she tells us and we see it. So I say that to say, not only did I send that contract her way, she said it was her largest speaking contract to date and it was handed to her, signed within like 24 hours of us sending them their way. And now we have an even better relationship. We're going to start working together on some other projects, I'm sure. So you do, and it's so weird because it's like people, they don't like doing those types of things. They just don't understand how relationship works. And people want to be selfless and they want to pour and they want to give to you. But if you're not receiving anything in your life, if you're always lacking, it's likely because you don't give. That's a real possibility. You're not giving a lot of free content that's really good. You're not doing a lot of referring other people. You're not shouting from the rooftops when people do good work for you. I'm not saying promote people who aren't doing good work for you, but when they do good work for you, promote them. If you do that, I promise you, you will start to see extreme wealth in your life. It is what it is, especially if your activities are directed in the right direction. In tangent. So, 1, you got to pitch C-level executives. That requires you to deal with intimidation. 2, you're going to be told no, but there's so much gold in the no's. 3, you need to keep going. This is a big one. Intimidation will stifle you from continuing to grow and from continuing to keep going. Oh, I'm close to the end of my first ever trademark because of the DIY trademark course that you taught last fall. Thank you for offering that class. Oh, I appreciate it. Let us know when you get the registration. But yeah, so okay. 1, you have to sell to C-level executives. We talked about that. 2, you're going to be told no, but there's so much gold in the no. Go back, watch this whole video, listen to this whole interview, and you're going to find exact terminology to utilize when someone tells you no. That will literally lead you to your next paying engagement or has the potential to. But 3, you need to keep going. So you got to deal with intimidation. Here's the thing, guys. The internet is so mischievous. It's kind of like a facade sometimes because you can see, like me, people are like, how long have you been in business? And I say 3 years. They're like, whoa, you made all this money in 3 years? Well, yeah, but not exactly. So I've been in business for myself for 3 years. I've been speaking competitively for over a decade. Even before that, I started my first business when I was 17 and it failed. It was a resume writing company. I always understood that the business needed to get customers. So when I started my first company, I found a competitor to Grubhub, put my services on there, and that's how I got my first 100 clients. But that business inevitably fell because I was only charging $99. And I didn't like writing resume. What I really wanted to do was coach people, coach them on how to grow their business and how to get a job of their dreams and how to negotiate their salary. Because I've been doing that stuff since I was very young. I negotiated my internship salary. So that was what I wanted to do. That business failed when I was 17. People only see the past 3 years of these successful businesses, but they don't see the resume writing company that failed, the event planning company that failed. I did PR for a little bit. I did celebrity events with all these high-powered celebrities and didn't make any real money. So I know that I don't get fooled by what I see anymore because I know how that goes. So I have other experiences. So when I'm charging people, when I'm setting my rates, when I'm teaching you all what I've learned over 20,000 plus sales calls, millions of dollars of products sold later, it's not just about the past 3 years of these successful companies, which we've grown to in 3 years, which is amazing. But it's not just about that. It's about all the no's that we got in the resume writing company or the event planning company when we didn't price right, or the celebrities that I worked with who didn't pay. Like, it's because I've had other experiences. So although you may see a lot of other people winning and you start to feel intimidated, like, oh man, but they're so great and they're doing this and they're doing that. Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up. There's a lot of no's that you don't see. There's a lot of losses that aren't posted about and glamorized. There's a lot of non-payments that have come through for people who sign up for stuff and then they don't pay or they default it's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So what you have to do is not allow intimidation or who people are to stop you from continuing to grow your business and from continuing to do your business, because I'm going to read this line again. You have to stop subscribing to the belief that just because someone has more than you, that person is more than you, because they are not. Okay? They are not. So definitely wanted to share this with you guys. Hopefully you get some value out of this. If anything I said was interesting and you're like, okay, I'm ready to crush intimidation. I'm ready to throw intimidation in the trash. And I want to sell to large corporations. I want to land my next 6-figure contract. I want to learn the foundational principles to start that process. I want to receive your book. I've been talking a lot about this book. You get an advanced reader copy as a member of the event. You also get this amazing workbook with all types of swipe files and beautiful stuff like that. And you get hundreds of dollars of resources from our sponsors. Smith AI is a sponsor. Mobile General Counsel is a sponsor. Uncloned Marketing is a sponsor. And then you get a gift from Dipsato, who is also a sponsor. So we have incredible sponsors, an incredible 3-day event. 3-day event. And let me tell you all something else. This event is not priced expensive at all. For the amount of value you're going to get, I mean, literally, it's like a $20,000 event. I mean, it should be priced at $20,000, and it's not. So you can come to this event for under $3,000, even if you get a VIP ticket. Okay. And for the knowledge you're going to learn, that's nothing. Seriously, it is. And what I would challenge you to do, if anyone looks at the event page, speakyourreadycash.com/event, and your first thought is, oh my gosh, this is expensive, you're going to have a hard time selling a really large package because of what you believe is expensive. So challenge yourself on that. Even if you can't afford it yet, don't say something like that is expensive, because you're coming to learn how to sell 6-figure packages. And if a $1,500 or $2,500 price tag is intimidating, it's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough for you to do it and justify the value for yourself. Okay? Just a mindset hack I'm going to give you, because I have heard that, like, oh, what about this? What about that? And I haven't heard it a lot. I have not heard it a lot. But for anyone listening who's like, I need to make this investment, I'm just a little worried about it. Again, you are powerful. You are smart enough to make good investments. And for whatever reason, you don't love the investment, you're smart enough to recover the investment. So here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep that in mind, because we're talking about that weekend landing 5-figure contracts, landing 6-figure contracts, selling to CEOs of major corporations, pitching directors of industry, pitching giants in the industry. And the first step is going to be being courageous enough to get in the room to have those types of conversations, because it's important to do so. And we don't have many seats left. We have less than 10 VIP seats left, I know. And then we have some virtual seats that are still available. So it's in person or virtual. You can choose which one you want to experience, but it will be a phenomenal, fabulous event. So go to speakyourreadycash.com/event to learn more about that. And feel free to join me on Clubhouse. I'm about to do a Q&A over there with my Clubhouse peeps. So you can join us. Just go to the Speak Your Ready Cash Lounge in order to take part in that discussion. But again, thank you guys so very much. I'm about to head to Clubhouse to do a Q&A. So everyone on Clubhouse, hang tight. And yes, I am just hoping that you have a powerful, powerful day, that you take action towards the life of your dreams, and that you join me at Speak Your Ready Cash Live, because I know for a fact it's going to be a life-changing experience. All right, see you guys there. SpeakYourReadyCash.com/event.
All right, wasn't that interview amazing? If you're anything like me, you have pages full of notes. But here's the thing. Before you head out, I want you to go to Facebook.com and join the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group. That is where I am. That's where a ton of other speakers are, a ton of other people who listen to the show. We all congregate there and chat. And it's 100% free. Now, if you're ready to take your speaking career to the next level, I have 2 ways for you to do that. One, you can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC live replay and pick up the live replay. That training is 7 modules, chock full of information. It's crazy. Go over there, read all about it. Or if you want a more personal experience, you already know that you want to be a speaker. You're ready to fully commit, and you want someone to walk you through it and save you tons of time Googling and doing it on your own, then book a VIP day with me. You can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com, scroll down until you see the VIP day section, and get more information on that there. All right. Thank you guys again for watching. Please do not forget to leave us a review. That is how we keep this train rolling and get some of the best speakers in the world to get on this show. So please, please, please leave a review. Shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and Facebook in the Speak Your Way to Cash group, Instagram at the Ashley Nicole Show. And I'd be more than happy to chat with you and say hi. All right, y'all have an awesome, awesome day.